Hey everyone, this is Jeremy Stevig, also known as Jeweled Iris, and I'm just gonna walk you through the hack I'm making. First off, I do want to say a couple of things. I know how a lot of people make hacks and how a lot of people employ room design. And that's fine. One of the things I wanted to accomplish when I made this hack, when I realized that I could actually hack Super Metroid and redesign it the way that I wanted, was I wanted to kind of give Super Metroid what I always expected from it. I got into Metroid in 1993, and I was absolutely captivated by it. And then Super Metroid came out the year after. I barely knew anything about Metroid 2. I had never played Metroid 2. I was too busy playing Metroid, and I was just amazed at how it just sucked you into this beautiful, colorful, weird world that was like a maze, and you didn't really, half the time you didn't even know where you were going. And then Super Metroid came along, and I mean, I love Super Metroid. It's an amazing game. But as I started to get used to it, I started to notice that what people call the flow of rock formation got boring, and I see it in every single hack. Slopes like this and stuff are common to design, but I was never really into that. I've always played platformers. Metroid in itself is kind of a platformer. I was a little disappointed when I first started playing Super Metroid at how much of the original Metroid wasn't it felt like it was left behind. So I designed this passageway right here. I placed all the tiles where they were in the original Metroid, because it's how SAMUS left it. This room was simply a matter of, I wanted to take the platforms that you stood on and just set them into the background. So I set them into the background so Samus could just simply move around them. Because they were basically destroyed and they're not really worth stepping on. So I set it up like that. Well, one of the reasons was to encourage speedrunners who could just get through that room quickly. I got to this area, and this area being made to be like, hey, remember this area from the original game? And I didn't really want to mess with it because, in my opinion, it's perfect just the way it is to accomplish the task of making you recall the original game. It's exactly what it needs to be, just as it is. So I didn't really want to mess with it. There's a lot I haven't figured out how to do yet, so I just kind of left this whole opening sequence the way it is because I haven't figured out what else to do instead. This wall right here is made to resemble Zero Mission in that little wall that you shoot through. That's got a missile pack in it. Bombs being at the end of that corridor. I honestly thought the idea of fighting a Torzo to get bombs was kind of annoying. I thought bombs should be simply left out for you to grab, like they always have been. So that's why I did that. Okay, going back up. One of the things I want to do is I want to take the little cavern that goes to the bomb room, what was the bomb room, and I wanted to make it connect to this room by dropping straight down. No, you can't really see it. Okay. By making it drop straight down. Oh, this place has come alive. Alright, so yeah, this requires a little bit of skill to get up. It's not so simple and straightforward. You can either wall jump, or you can do what I have always done from the original game, is just jump up and around. It's kind of meant to frustrate you a little bit. Oops. That block is not set right. Neither is this one. I'm not sure why it's like that. I thought I just copied and pasted all these. Okay, so... Okay, so yeah, this is red Brinstar. This is red Crateria. When I first started making this hack, I found red Crateria in the palettes in Smile, and honestly, I thought it looks cool. I still think it looks cool. It kind of gives the impression that after you get back to the surface after collecting the power bombs, that it gives the impression that you arrive in the morning and it's raining, and as you're traveling about in the caverns beneath, by the time you get back up to the surface, it's evening and you see the sun setting. I don't understand why people give it such a hard time. I don't find it an eyesore at all. Maybe I don't mind staring into the sun, but I personally, I thought red Crateria was cool, and so I used it. I'm going to keep it because I like it. I tried to redesign this with crumbling floors to look like this is metal plating that is falling apart. I wasn't sure what to do with this room, with this part, so I just put in weird textures just to make it look like they had a bunch of extra hose from Mother Brain stashed somewhere or something. I put ridiculous spikes up here so you couldn't just wall jump up there. So yeah, this is supposed to be kind of old plating that's falling apart. I set the missile doors to 1 simply because when I found out that I could change it, I got all excited and I'm like, ooh, let's set it at 1, and I've never really had a reason to change it back. So 1 missile, 1 super missile, you know, everything is 1 just because, you know, why not? Okay, so the opening of Brinstar, I wanted Brinstar to feel like blue rock, like it did in the original game. So I set up this opening passageway here to look like it used to be blue rock, that vines had started overgrowing in. So I set that up like that. A lot of times, if I liked how something worked, I didn't really try to change it too much. Okay, I completely redesigned this room. And the biggest reason is because when I first started designing this hack, I didn't know how to mockball. I had tried and tried and tried, and I could not get mockballing right. And so I specifically designed this room and this hack so that you would never have to mockball, because I thought mockballing was stupid. And I was kind of, you know, a little bit bitter, and I was just like, I don't want to have to mockball. And I want to shut down any reason that anybody might have to want to mockball. So, whatever. Okay, so I opened this up because I didn't really see a reason to have to come back here to revisit it. So, I opened it up so you can just get this stuff. I moved that stuff out of the wall, just put them on little pillar things. That is now a solid wall. It doesn't do anything. You just come in, get this stuff, and go out. However, I do give people plenty of opportunity to wall jump. Lots of wall jump. Tried to change the palettes to enemies to fit the palette of the room, so that it looks like they're being colored by the light of the room. So with a very blue room, I try to have blue enemies most of the time. And I pick different enemies for different rooms to kind of just, you know, keep it changed up a bit. What is this? Oh, this is this passage. Okay. Like in here, it's dark blue, light blue, and gold. I don't remember what enemy. I set them to. I set the palette to. So there's a map there. I haven't figured out how to redirect doors yet. So that hasn't changed at this point. So the game is still laid out in exactly the same way. I've just changed what's in every room. Just about every room. I've been working on this for about a year now. Let's go ahead and save it. All the save rooms, energy recharge rooms, stuff like that. I tried to set every one of them to a color that fit the palette and the main color of the area that it's in. Like, Brinstar save rooms are blue. Norfair save rooms are dark reddish in color. Let us leave. I liked how the pink flowery stuff goes with the blue rock, so I just kind of left that like that. I hate that little speed trap. I totally took that out. Okay, so this room. I pretty much redesigned this room to feel like the vertical passages in the original Metroid, which is all about platforming. So getting around in this room is all about platforming now. Lettuce leaves look a lot more menacing when they're blue with red eyes than they are when they're yellow. Okay, there's a charge beam. Okay, let's come down here. Energy tank. This is when it'll start to feel like that. Here, let us leave. Alright, let's go here. I opened this up. You can go fight Spore Spawn if you want. You don't have to. I made it an optional thing. What I would like to do eventually is put a second Spore Spawn that has more health and is resistant to most of the early beams. Yeah, it'll have a lot more health. I want to palette him blue. And I want to stick him in Meridia somewhere. That's kind of a suggestion one of my best friends gave me. And he was like, dude, you should put a Spore Spawn in Meridia. And I thought that was a cool idea. And I kind of want to do it just for the challenge of doing it. But I haven't done it yet. Okay, so yeah, this is where platforming gets fun, because you've got all these things dive bombing you. You've got these little buggers coming out of these pipes, and you basically got to kill everything just so you can jump from platform to platform. Ow! And then you've got Side Hopper over there. I totally plans. Okay. So, getting back. Oops. Getting back up here. I did kind of want to leave this. I wanted to make this green up here. I've got a video on YouTube of how I redesigned this room. I've got a building thing where I time-lapse video. Okay, so you get up here. Just in case you didn't notice, you come over here and you're like, ooh, power bombs. How do I get in there? Well, I don't want to... Honestly, I think this is one of my best kept secrets in my hack. Is how do you get in there? Do you bomb this? It doesn't look like it. How do you get in there? Okay, so we got power bombs. We've got 2 more energy tanks. Ooh, it's a reserve tank. Because, you know, why not? Oh yeah, and I decided to make Power Suit Samus. I decided to close her in the green of the fields. I'm not sure where that came from, but it was an idea that I was highly inspired by in a moment's notice, and so I went with it. And I've learned to trust moments where inspiration just hits you. So there it is. Okay, so I discovered an interesting little glitch, and I don't remember ever seeing it before. But okay, if I walk through this door with the water there, look at the way I'm moving. I'm not moving with all of the resistance of water, but everything is very watery in the way that I move. and the way that the sprites fluctuate. I don't know what that's all about necessarily. If I come out here, I think it'll go away. Yeah, it went away. Can't get up there. I just love these blue blocks. I'll be honest. That's when I think of Brinstar, I think of these blue blocks, and I wanted my version of Brinstar to reflect that. I wanted lots of blue blocks because that's what Brinstar is to me. And I love the particular color of blue. Blue is my favorite color. And I love this particular color of blue. Maybe that's why I like them so much. Just because they're like the perfect blue. I don't know. One of these days, I want to learn how to edit the music. I want to be able to redesign the music exactly the way I want. Okay, so this being Lower Brinstar, which in the original game was known as Kraid's area. I wanted this area to look more like Kraid's area. Alright, I'm gonna open that up. I'm not gonna go through there just yet. So I put these Kraidy looking blocks in here. And I like how the blue looks against the red background, so I left that alone until I can either think of something better, or maybe it'll just stay like that. So anyway, I don't mind showing this. X-ray scope. Most of the time it's pretty useless, but you may find it useful in this hack. I don't know. I don't, but that's because I know where everything is. But I had to put it somewhere. Well, I guess I didn't have to put it somewhere, but I chose to put it there, so that's where it is. Okay. So here's Meridia. Still not sure what I want to do with Meridia yet. I'm actually thinking about making Meridia a surface area, like a rainforest, and have it pouring rain, thunderstorm kind of thing going on, and have it look like a surface area that, like, say an elevator takes you to another part of the surface. Because I mean, if you think about it, ZEBES has got to be a really big world, and it's pretty silly to think that you're looking at the entire surface of the planet based on the area around the landing site. So I wanted to make Meridia, instead of being a subterranean lake, I was thinking about making it look like another part of the surface that is a rainforest. And again, I haven't really been able to decide what to do with the design of these rooms. So for right now, they're just cosmetically different. I do want to do something with it. I just don't know what yet. And I don't like to change things without inspiration. So go down here. I tried to make this area look a little bit more gruesome. You've got whatever that slime stuff is Kraid's saliva or something dripping off the ceiling. Okay, so here's a few things about Kraid. I tried to change the feel of his room to more fit the color and the palette motif that I've been going with all the blue rock, so I did that. I have tried to adjust his health with Smile 2.5, with Smile JX, and I cannot seem to get it to change. Every time I try to change it, I think it's changed, but then I do the math and realize that nothing has changed. It still takes 6 super missiles to kill Kraid. Enemy! Hurry up home! So I don't know what's up with that. You get the speed booster for beating Kraid. I decided to change it up a little bit.